Okay, let's see how we got to what? It's 12:01. Let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and see what I get here. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Um, at this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order,
Mr.
and
Chair,
I'm doing. Yes.
uh, before we adopt the agenda, I'd like to make a motion to move 10A up to after number 5 on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay. Okay. Let's. I tell you what. Let's go ahead and. What I want to do, I want to have get our clerk to do a roll call, and then we'll go into adoption of the agenda. So just hold that, and we make that statement again. All right, Madam Clerk.
That motion is on the floor, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, but we hadn't called the roll yet. I want to call the roll first. Let me call the roll, and then we'll have that motion. Then we'll react on that motion. Give me a roll call, Madam Chair. I mean, yeah, I'm not chair, but what clerk? Yeah.
All right. Colonel Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Huggins,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Dickerson,
Yes.
Mr. Burgess.
Present.
Perfect timing. Ms. Lee.
Carolyn Gleason.
Hey, Ms. Lee.
Okay.
Representative Howard. Ms. Mood. Ms. Mood, you're still here, right?
She's muted. That's why you can't hear her.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see your little picture. Okay, Dr. Morris
Here.
and Mr. Smith
Here.
and Ms. Ratio.
Here.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll do the non-voting. I'll do the non-voting now, sir, if that's okay.
Okay. What we'll do? Yes. Let's go ahead and adopt the agenda. But we need to do that move. Make the motion that Mr. Burgess made. And
Mr. Chairman, we apologize. We didn't do the non-voting roll call.
how's that?
Mr. Chairman, we just need to do the non-voting roll call. We apologize.
Okay. Go ahead and do a non-voting roll call also.
Okay, Mr. Jenkins? Mr. Green? Ms. Summers?
Yes.
Ms. Robinson? Mr. Coon? Mr. Walker? Mr. Kane? And last, Mr. Unthink.
Okay. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we had Ms. Summers present, and that's all. And the non-voting, right?
I'm sorry, Mike Green came
All
on.
right, yeah, let's go ahead and move to adopt the agenda. And Mr. Burgess, you just made a
I made a motion
to
to
move.
move 10A
Yes.
up to after number 5 on the agenda.
All right. Okay. So what we need to do, we need to vote on that first. All in favor of us moving 10A up to item underneath item 5?
Mr. Chairman, I think you need a second.
I second it.
Mr.
go ahead.
Chairman.
Mr. Chair, when he made the motion, I second it.
It was already seconded, but okay, we'll go ahead. It's been properly moved and second. So let's
Mr.
go ahead
Chairman?
and, yes.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak?
What
He
the
made the
make of
motion. He seconded the motion, but it was out of order, so you need to carry this right. This need to be a motion to adopt the agenda, and if they want to adjust the agenda, this is the point that need to go back through the motion.
Look, okay. All right.
That is
Wait,
not correct, Mr. Chair.
Let's.
My
wait,
motion was
wait.
made before we adopt the
Listen.
agenda.
Let's go ahead.
So-
Let's go ahead.
Mr.
The
Fergus,
motion
that's
is
how
proper-
come it was out of order. You made a motion to change it before we even
Mr.
adopted
Dickinson,
whether we had a
Mr.
quorum or
Ms.
anything.
Dickinson. Ms. Dickinson. Okay, let me handle this, Ms. Dickinson. Okay. All right. Okay, so in order to satisfy that, just make the motion again, Mr. Burgess, and make a second again, Dr. Moore.
I move that we move 10A right after number 5 on the agenda.
I second it.
Mr. Chairman?
Okay, then, it's been properly moved and seconded. Okay, are there any,
Mr. Chairman?
This is Ms. Baker.
yes?
I
Yes,
believe
Ms.
that what Ms. Dickerson was saying is, as a point of order, you have to adopt the agenda first, and then you can make a motion to change items from the agenda to somewhere else. But you have to adopt the agenda first.
Okay. All right. Let's backtrack then. All in favor of adopting the agenda as written, let it be known by saying aye.
As amended.
Say again?
Go ahead.
Well, if we have to adopt it before we vote on it, I mean, there's nothing to amend yet. So let's go ahead and adopt the agenda as written, and then how are we supposed to do that, Pam? I mean, Mrs. Attorney.
Mr. Chair.
Y'all, this is Franny. I'm gonna make a suggestion based on, I think what Ms. Dickerson was saying, that someone would move to, approve the agenda, and that would get a second. And then Mr. Fergus would move to amend the agenda, and that would get a second. Although I think it is okay for y'all to do it in the format that you're following now, which is that Mr. Fergus has made a motion to amend the agenda, and it got a second. I think y'all can vote on that amendment, and then there would be a motion to approve the agenda as amended if Mr. Fergus's motion passes.
That's
I think
correct.
that's easiest to get to where you want to be.
That's correct.
Sounds good to me then. Okay, so let's go ahead and adopt the agenda.
No, sir, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I think that Mr. Fergus, you've got a motion on the floor right now to have an amendment to your agenda. It's been seconded. I think you vote on that motion, and depending on that motion, you either adopt the agenda as amended or you adopt the agenda as written.
Sounds good to me. So let's vote on the amendment.
Mr. Chairman?
Let's-
Mr. Chairman?
Mr.
Yes,
Chairman,
go ahead.
Ms. Booth has been trying to get through to you for the longest.
Go ahead, Miss Dickinson. Miss
I
Booth, go ahead.
would ask if Mr. Fergus would accept a change to move it to after item 6, because the public hearings, if there are other people involved here for the public hearings, I would hate for them to have to wait through our entire discussion.
Miss Mood,
Yes.
that's out of order. So let's go ahead and vote on the amendment. Okay.
It's
All
out
in
of
favor
order
of-
to ask him to amend it, his motion.
We're not discussing that yet. Let's go ahead and vote on the amendment, and then we'll get to that later. Okay?
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Teresa has her hand up and would like to ask a question.
Thank you, Mr. Endo. Mr. Chair, I have been sitting in these meetings with you as chair for a few times now, and I just feel like I cannot keep going on with the lack of decorum in these meetings. There is so much interruption that happens. Please don't interrupt me as I'm speaking.
Yes, go
We
ahead.
get to speak one at a time, and when someone is finished speaking, they yield the floor to the next person. All this interruption that's going on is incredibly confusing, and it is not good for the functioning of this board.
Exactly. Thank you. All right, so let's get some control here. And what you need to do, you need to address the chair before you blast out anything. So some people, okay, so now we're back to adopting this agenda. So what we need to do now is go ahead and vote on the amendment. So what the vote on the amendment, so Madam Clerk, I want you to do a roll call on the amendment.
Okay, Colonel Leaks,
Yes.
Mr. Huggins,
Mr.
Huggins,
Huggins, yes.
Hello, this is
Mr.
Howard. I'm
Anderson,
just joining the meeting.
Go ahead.
Anderson votes no.
Okay. Dickerson?
Ms. Dickerson,
No.
Mr. Burgess,
Yes.
Ms. Leeton,
Yes.
Representative Howard.
I'm on the House floor, just joining the meeting. What was the amendment? I'm sorry.
Okay, the amendment was to move item 10A after number 5 on the agenda.
And what is that item?
It's the,
Accept Attorney General opinion.
Oh yeah, please move that because I gotta get back to the floor. Okay,
Okay, so you say
yes.
yes, correct? Okay.
Mr. Affirmative? Okay.
Ms. Nude,
No.
Dr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
No.
Hey guys, I gotta get back to the House floor. Can y'all be more considerate?
Yeah, that's okay. We got it. Go ahead.
Okay then.
Go
All
ahead.
right. That's
Go ahead, correct. All right.
My
Okay.
name wasn't called. This is Ms. Glee.
Ms. Gleason?
Ms.
Mhm.
Leeton,
Yes.
okay, and Mr. Ratio, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here, and with apologies to Representative Howard, I vote no.
Okay. All right.
okay. We're dealing with things that the county needs. Man,
So the motion, the amendment passes?
Mr. Chair. This
Yes.
is Huggins. I got cut off, so I want to make sure my vote was yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir,
So-
I get your vote.
So how many, Madam Clerk, what we got? We got 6 yeses, did we not?
5 noes, 6 yeses.
Okay, so the amendment passes. So, okay, now we have to go, and with the amendment added, we have to vote to approve the adoption of the agenda. Okay, all in favor of adopting the agenda? First I need to get a motion to adopt the
Mr.
agenda.
Chair, this is Anderson. I move to approve the agenda as written.
Can I get a second? I'll second.
Second.
Okay, properly moved in second. All in favor of approving the agenda?
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I hate to interrupt. Mr. Anderson's motion was to adopt the agenda as written.
Written, that's
I don't know whether that was
Was that
intended or not, because I think y'all have now effectively voted for an amendment to the agenda.
Okay. So do you want to do that? Go ahead, Mr. Anderson.
I'm sorry, so the first motion did pass to amend it?
Yes, it did.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'll modify my motion to approve the agenda as amended.
All right. Can I get a?
I withdraw my second.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's properly moved in second. All in favor of adopting the agenda as amended? Give us a roll call, Mrs. Clerk again. Give us a roll call, please.
Okay. Sorry, taking notes. Okay, Colonel Weeks,
Yes.
Mr. Huggins,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Dickerson,
No.
Mr. Burgess,
Yes.
Ms. Leeton,
Yes.
Representative Howard,
Yes.
Ms. Smoot,
Yes.
Dr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
and Ms. Terratio.
No.
Okay. All right. How did we? The motion passes?
Yes.
Yes. So the agenda is adopted as amended. So the next item on the agenda is item number 3, Midlands Transit Riders Association. Is anyone here to speak from the Midlands Riders Association?
No, sir.
Nobody? Okay. All right, very good. Item 4, call to the public. Anybody from the public wishing to speak today?
No, sir.
Nobody? Very good. How about item 5, presentation of employees of the Met, wrap there.
Mr. Chairman, we did not get a report from them this month, so we'll do this in October.
Okay. All right. Okay, then that brings us down to item the next item. That's the item that the amended item, right?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that okay? So we'll go down to item number 10. It normally was 10A, so we're going to bring item 10A up to this position right underneath 5, and I'll tell you what. I'm going to go ahead and take the lead on this.
No, I don't think I'm doing it with this one.
All of you are
I'll go get Anna.
I'm sorry, folks, but
Order,
I'm
please.
sorry,
Order.
folks, I cannot hear because there's a lot of background noise. If you could put your phones on mute, I cannot hear.
Put your phones on mute, please. All right, the issue we have at hand today is the one of the Attorney General's opinion, and all of you are familiar with the background of that opinion, why we got it in the first place. And so what we're here today to do is to accept or reject the Attorney General's opinion. And what I would like to do before we go into any discussion is just to get a motion to adopt the Attorney General's opinion. Can I get a motion?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Burgess.
I move that we, the Comic Board, accept the Attorney General's opinion as rendered to the comment on September the 8th, 2020, and respond accordingly. In this case, responding accordingly includes our legal team informing all concerned municipalities that they are not members of the Central Midlands Regional Transit Authority, but might apply to become a member by following the procedures and intent as outlined in SC Code Section 582510 through 5825-100, and with subsequent approval by the Comic Board of Directors.
I second that motion, Mr. Chair.
All right, it has been properly moved and seconded. The motion as read, and Madam Secretary, not Secretary.
This is a point of order, Mr. Chair. This is Mr. Anderson.
Madam, yes, sir.
Can we have discussion on this before we vote?
We get Mr. Anderson. What we're doing, we're going to go ahead and get the motion on the table. It's been properly moved and second, and then we will have discussion.
Well,
but that's
it has
the only
been, okay. So we're in discussion right now.
Well, yes, we are. I got to find. Yes, we are. We're ready for discussion right now.
Okay.
Okay.
First question.
Listen. It's properly moved and second, and now we can discuss. Go ahead.
Okay, first I had two questions. One is I'm looking at the packet and the agenda says it's pages 89 to 91, I believe. What page is it in the actual agenda that was sent the other day?
I don't know whether that's related to, I don't know, look, wait now, listen now. We got to keep this thing in order. I don't know whether, finding what page some is on, it got anything to do with our motion. Has it?
I'd like to read the, I'd like to have the materials in front of me. I can't find them in the packet. So if somebody could figure that out and tell me, that'd be really helpful.
294.
I have a question for Ms. Heiser. So Franny, if I understand, this has all been given to me verbally, but I know you disagree with, can you summarize real quickly what you disagree with and then where there is an open question?
Yes, I will. Excuse me. In the opinion that was is dated September the 8th in response to the questions I submitted on behalf of the authority, the Attorney General's office references an opinion from January 6th of 2014. And the January 6, 2014 opinion says specifically that in order to become a member of an authority, a municipality must have a population of 5,000 or more persons. So, and so that concept, that statement is repeated in this more recent opinion, and it is also involved in a footnote. So in the memo that I wrote to y'all, I said that I respectfully disagreed with that analysis and outlined my reasons. And Ms. Baker and I have both reviewed the legislation, and we are very confident that when the legislation was originally adopted, the word cities appeared in 582535. And cities inside that code, inside that act, is defined as basically a municipality with 5,000 or more. In 1997, that language was amended to take out the word cities and to replace it with the word municipalities. The word municipality is defined in the act as an incorporated city or town within the service area. So the concept of city is included in municipality, and that would require 5,000 people. But the concept of a town is also included, and it does not require 5,000 people in order to be a town. You just have to be incorporated. So I will tell y'all today, this morning at about 9:30, I received a call from the attorney who drafted this opinion, and he informed me that they had actually revisited the language, and that they had tracked the legislative history as we defined it, or as we laid it out, and they're going to revise their opinion, and on a going forward basis, the Attorney General will not opine that an incorporated municipality must have 5,000, a population of 5,000 or more to, in order to be a member. Now, I know that that's a sensitive issue in this situation. I will tell everybody listening that, you know, I'm not here to dictate a response one way or the other. I felt like in the, when I wrote the memo that I needed to give y'all what my best legal advice was, as supported by Pam Baker. And so today I'm genuinely sharing with y'all information that I just got a couple of hours ago from the Attorney General. I do not know when we will get anything in writing, but my history with the Attorney General's office is that they are a very respected, basically statewide law firm, and that if they say they're going to do something, then they, in fact, are going to do it. So that's all I can tell you about this 5,000 requirement of 5,000 persons or more. The other features in that AG's opinion from September 20, I think are very clear cut. There's nothing I disagree with. I think that, you know, there has to be a process where the a prospective member has to provide information that's required in 582530. And, you know, so I'd be glad to answer any other questions about the opinion or about my memo, but I really do think the AG's opinion is very clear and very specific, and we will have in writing, I think, in the near term, a revision to this opinion.
May I ask a follow-up question, Mr. Chair?
Say again?
Mr. Chair, may I ask a follow-up question, please?
No. Let me.
So, Ms. Heiser.
Let's go ahead. Listen up. A motion is on the floor. It's been seconded. It's based on the facts that we had this morning. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to dispense with this thing by voting on it now.
No.
And then we have to worry about anything in the future.
A point of order. We're in discussion, sir, unless someone were to make a motion to call the question.
Well, a motion has been made. Let's go ahead now. We're going to go ahead and take one or two more questions on this thing. We got somebody for it now. We had somebody. You were for it. Now I want somebody who wants to support the motion.
I just want to get a question answered, Mr. Chair. That's all I'm asking. As a point of order, you can't end discussion without someone calling the question. But out of respect to the other members, I would like to, I would request the time to ask the question.
Call the question.
Okay.
I second it, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Point of parliamentary inquiry. I have a point of parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, sir.
This is for the parliamentarian. The calling of the question would take a 2/3 majority. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Well, does it or does it not? I think the calling the question takes only a majority. Or either the chair can call for the question. Okay?
No, my question was, I was asking the attorney, does the calling of the question take a 2/3 majority?
A 2/3 majority in order to pass.
Yes.
It does not, baby. You guys making this thing real hard. Okay. What's the okay, so what we have now, calling for the question, and we need to vote whether we want to go ahead and call the question. It takes just a simple majority, does not? Simple majority?
I'm looking that up right now, Colonel Weeks. I believe it's 2/3, but I will look it up.
Look at it.
Mr. Chair, this is Franny. The Robert's Rules of Order. So when a motion for the previous question is made, it closes the debate. A 2/3 vote for or unanimous consent is required to end debate. This motion, however, is not itself debatable.
You're right. So the motion is not debatable. So what we need to do then,
since we have a motion to call the question and it's been seconded, you would need 2/3 to pass that motion.
Okay. All right. Okay. The question now we're ready to vote on the what we voting on? I forgot. We're voting
Calling the question.
we're voting on whether we're going to end debate. That's what we're voting on. Whether we're going to end the debate and call for the question. So all in favor of us calling for the question, let it be known by. I tell you what. Give us a roll call, Madam Secretary.
Secretary.
Yeah.
Colonel Lee,
Roll call. Yes.
Mr. Huggins,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
No.
Ms. Dickerson,
No, can you hear me? I'm on the phone because my computer is not working.
yes, ma'am.
We hear you. We hear you. Go ahead.
No.
Mr. Burgess,
Yes.
Ms. Gleason,
Yes.
Representative Howard,
Yes.
Ms. Nude,
No.
Dr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
No.
and Ms. Trachia.
No.
Did the motion pass or not?
It did not pass. Or it did pass, I'm sorry. It did pass.
We'll
Paige, was it 2/3?
No, it's not, I apologize.
It's not 2/3.
Yep, that's right.
It's not too
Well, Mr. Chair, it doesn't take thirds to pass that motion.
We continue to.
Okay.
The majority.
Mr. Ferguson, we're still debating. We've called the council to debate, so we're still debating. Anybody else?
Mr. Chair, I had a follow-up question to my original question. So Ms. Heiser, so briefly summarize, so the impact of what you believe the Attorney General is going to return is to say that any entity that requests that's within our service area that provides the proper information if they request to join the board, and we just have to vote to let them do it. Is that correct?
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah.
I don't think we're here to debate what the Attorney General might do. What we're here is to debate that one motion that's on the floor.
Okay, I'll restate my question then. I'll restate my question. So Ms. Heiser, under the way that, given the way that it's currently, the Attorney General responded currently, explain to me what that means in terms of which municipalities would or would not be eligible to join the comment. And then secondly, what is the impact on, what is this impact their status as advisory members to the board?
Mr. Anderson, that is not germane to the motion. We can't talk about what they might do or what we're not talking about anything.
I amended my question, Mr. Chair, to say based on what the Attorney General said, who is.
You're out of order, and we don't even want to hear her answer on it because that question is not germane. You got to stick
Mr. Chair, you're out of order.
You got to stick to the motion.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
am I recognized?
Yes, you are. Go ahead, Lil.
All right. I have two questions that were not clear to me in the Attorney General's opinion that we were given. In some of it seems to indicate that if municipalities within the service area wish to be members, they can ask to be recognized as members. And I understand that we have a difference of opinion about whether they have to be a certain size or not. But in any case, that people within the municipalities within, and then it seems to say that municipalities or counties that are contiguous, I mean, that would be like Fairfield or Newberry, if they wanted to become members of the authority, then they could apply and fulfill all of those requirements that are in the law, and then the board would vote on whether to accept them. But they would also have to first have a referendum in their own county. But it's not clear to me whether members, municipalities within the existing service area all that they have to do is just apply. And I understand we still have this pending question about the what size, but that affects my other question, and that is that in the Attorney General's opinion that we got, the question that was raised about whether membership had anything to do with financial contribution, they said, the opinion we got said, it does not, that membership does not depend at all on financial contribution. And
we understand
it depends only on population. But if there's not a population question, that's very confusing to me. And I wonder if our attorneys could clarify.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really having a hard time understanding and hearing because of people talking over each other. If maybe one person at a time, because I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding all of the legal issues in case they come up, but I'm really having a hard time hearing.
Okay, let me go back and say one thing. First of all, to end the debate, it only takes a majority of people.
No.
It doesn't take 2/3. It takes a majority. Listen. Ending the debate takes a simple majority. Now we can. So it has. I don't know whether we need to go back or not. But
our attorneys just said that it does not.
Listen. Let me say this. I'm looking at Robert's Rules of Order, 2017, and it said, in the debate, it takes a majority of the vote. That's all it takes. So I'm looking at. I don't know where they got theirs from, but that's what this says. So, but then to answer your question, we'll go ahead and answer your question. But this is going to be the last question because we're going to go ahead and vote on this thing and get it over with, one way or the other.
Well, could I get a response? Could I get a response from the legal staff on my questions?
Based on what the Attorney General wrote, go ahead, legal staff, and answer that question, please.
I'm honestly not sure what the question was.
Okay, all right. So let me.
Here's what I would recommend right now. I would not recommend that y'all give any consideration to the issue that relates to political subdivisions contiguous to your service area, because that really is not a question that I personally have researched in depth. And I don't know that that's really before y'all today. So that was your first question, Ms. Mood, I think. Your second question
the question really was whether there was a different level of requirement for municipalities within the service area to meet all the requirements of all of those plan of service and stuff, different from those that would be outside. That was what it sounded like to me.
My response is that the Attorney General's opinion is giving advice on the application process for local governments within the service area. That was what the question was presented. And so those 3 or 4 requirements that are outlined in 582530 paren 1 paren A 1A through D. Those are the requirements for purposes of the political subdivisions of incoming members.
Okay. All right. That take care of you, Ms. Mood?
Yeah, well, and then the other question was that since they say that that membership can only be based on population and that membership cannot be based on financial contribution, is that right? Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
That's a little bit not correct. The participation on the board, the number of board members is dictated by population, not financial contribution. Membership is you're either a member or you're not. And that's really the question that they answered in number 1. Number 2 is if someone becomes a member, if a group or a city, town becomes a member, can their number of board members depend on financial contribution? And that answer was no, that it has to be based on population.
Okay. All right. That's we got to end this debate. It has been voted on, and actually we should have ended it a couple of
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Back before. Yes.
Point
yes,
of order,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Point
sir,
of
go
order.
ahead. Yep.
The chair can just not end debate and stop questions without the consent of the board. And 2/3 of the board has not given you consent.
We've already voted on that.
I'll tell you,
2/3 of the
Chairman.
board has not given you consent.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
go ahead.
If we can't get some consensus, I'm going to motion to adjourn. And I think that only takes a simple majority.
No. Let's. I can't. I don't want to accept that motion right now. Let's go ahead and get this straightened out, and we have.
Point of order again, Mr. Chairman. Point of order.
Make the motion
I mean,
again.
if a member makes a motion,
Mr. Attorney Howard, make your motion again. Let's vote it again to end the debate.
I'm going to make the motion to adjourn.
To adjourn?
Second.
Yes, sir.
Who seconded?
Burgess.
Is that motion up for discussion, or is there any discussion on the motion to adjourn?
No, there's no discussion. It's a higher motion.
It's non-debatable.
Yeah.
Undebatable.
Not debatable. Okay.
Take a simple majority. That's because we can't seem to be cooperative. So I got to get back to work. So that's my motion, Mr. Chair.
Well, I mean, anybody can leave the meeting anytime they want to. You don't have to remain.
You got a motion.
Listen, Ms. Mood. Yeah. I don't want. Ms. Mood. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, it has been made. A motion has been made to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, let it be known by. We ought to vote on it. Okay, all in favor of it. Do a roll call again, Mrs. Madam Secretary.
Colonel Lee.
No.
Mr. Huggins.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
No.
Ms. Dickerson.
No.
Mr. Burgess.
Yes.
Ms. Layton.
Yes.
Representative Howard.
Yes.
Ms. Mood.
No.
Dr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
No.
And Ms. Tracio.
No.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6, 5, no.
So, did we adjourn?
No, the motion failed.
No, Mr. Chairman, the motion failed. So the meeting.
Okay, all right. So look.
All right, guys, I'm getting ready to go. I mean, I'm out.
We
I mean, we could have adjourned and those people could have got their questions answered privately.
Yes.
But
well, look. Can I change my motion, my vote?
No.
I'm gonna change my vote. I'm gonna change my vote to adjourn too. So let's go.
Is that proper? Is that proper when our legal counsel tell us if that's proper?
Franny, give us an answer.
Y'all are wearing me out here.
I know it's out of order, but we have a substantial amount of business to be done today, and I think it's irresponsible of the board to refuse to do the business that we've been given to do, some of which has time frames attached to it that are important.
Yeah, one thing y'all could do is table this item 10A and revisit it, and then you might be okay to go ahead with your other business.
Well,
I don't know, Mr. Chair, if that's that you might consider before changing your vote.
I would move to table 10A.
The motion has been to adjourn, and it's 6 votes to adjourn.
Look. We do have business to attend. We have business that we need to take care of. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and table 10A and then take care of the rest of our business for the day? Because we have other important business that we need to take care of.
So
Can I make that? You can't make a motion, Jim.
I made the motion to table.
So, but for the record, Mr. Chair, you are not voting to adjourn, correct?
No, I'm voting to table. Yeah, I'm voting to table.
No, but
No, that's not the question.
He's not
changing your vote again.
So,
No,
Mr.
no.
Chair, you are voting no on the motion to adjourn, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And to
Mr.
table-
Chair, didn't you change your motion?
I did change it back, but look, we got too much business to take care of. We need to go
Chair,
ahead
you got to
and
learn how
take
to
care of
leverage. You got to learn how to leverage your meeting, man. You know, I would adjourn until people respect you as chair, and get their questions answered privately. We got people
That's correct.
We're a public body. This is a public meeting.
You get no respect as chair. We got elected officials telling you how to run your meeting as though they have a higher or level than the one vote.
That's right. Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, Robert Morris.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir. I recognize Dr. Morris. Go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I think since you changed your vote to adjourn, we should adjourn. All this other stuff that we have on the agenda, we can discuss this later. But right now, I think we should adjourn.
Point of order, please.
All right.
My point of order is I've never been in a meeting where you take a vote, the vote is cast not to adjourn, and then one person doesn't like the way the vote came out and changes the vote. I've never experienced that procedure.
That is, we do it all the time.
The vote had been taken and it was, and we were still in session.
Ms. Mood, look, I tell you what, since this meeting is so disorganized and since so much disrespect and confusion is going on, I'm gonna leave my vote and we will go ahead and adjourn. That's all to it.
That's not leaving the vote.
Thank you.
Guys, look. I know. Leaving adjourn.
You've changed your vote 4 times now, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, I did. I changed it.
It doesn't matter.
He has the right.
You can't.
He has
do
the
that.
right to change his vote before he goes to
No.
another item. Yes.
No, once he says it,
Well,
he can't change his vote.
who are you
I
to
mean, we
say
can't all just go
no?
back
I
I'm a
yeah.
member of the public is who I am, and I mean,
Regardless of
also
who
an
you are,
advisory member of this board.
that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, a member of the public means something. would
Well,
remind
I'm
you
a
that the
member of the
public is the
public
one who-
also.
Yes, and I can say what I want to here. And so, I mean,
Well,
you can't change your
and-
vote
and-
4
and you-
times. This is all recorded.
And we've adjourned, so you can say it to yourself.
This is all recorded and could potentially go to the public. And I mean,
Go ahead.
or even go to a court case.
I think
go ahead.
If I could get some clarification, because I have Ms. Lewis who's been on hold that was going to give a report during executive session. I just would like to let her know that she no longer has to worry about that.
Well, look here.
So are we adjourned so that I can inform her?
The meeting is adjourned. She can send us a copy of that report.
Well, there's not going to be a written report, Mr. Fergus, yet, but she was just going to give a status. But we will delay it until the next meeting.
Thank you.
You know what?
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, the meeting is over, but from start of these meetings, I think these elected officials should show some type of decorum to the chair. I'm embarrassed that these elected officials have all out of order and belittling other board members.
Mr. Chair.
No, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Fergus, I'm an elected official and I have been quiet, so I don't know who you're talking about. So if you're going to name somebody, then you name them. I did not say one word during this meeting. I am an elected official to December 31st. I will be an elected. I'm still here to December 31st. My term ends December 31st at 12 o'clock. So I'm still an elected official.
It should demonstrate more respect to the
But
chairman.
I have not said one word.
As
I
we
have been
showed to you
quiet.
when you were chair.
I was quiet. I haven't said anything, but you said elected officials. You didn't name them. I didn't say one word. So when you say that, that was an indication about me as well. I did not say one word.
I'm to the community with what's going on down there, because some of these elected officials oversee my community, some parts of it. I think it's embarrassing and a disgrace that this is being done to the chair, and it's all scheme and plot. It's not based on anything based in fact. Not stand by.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
I still have my point of order, because we took a recorded vote and we voted to stay, not to adjourn. We voted to stay in session. And then I think we can listen to the recording, but then you reconsidered your vote and thought maybe you wanted to vote to adjourn, and then you reconsidered again and said that you thought that we had too much business and you wanted to stay in session. So the last voice that I heard was that you said you had reconsidered and you wanted us to continue with the agenda, which is before us.
But most of the board members didn't want to do it, so what can I do? They left. We didn't have a quorum.
Do what your vote is, and we can continue this meeting.
Well, we can't continue without a quorum.
Well, unless somebody calls for it, we can.
So, Mr. Chair, my suggestion would be, since you've adjourned, or you voted to not adjourn, then not to, and then reversed it 2 or 3 times, and now a number of people my suggestion would be we go ahead and end the meeting. And the meeting is gone.
The meeting is adjourned. The meeting was destroyed by members, so the meeting is adjourned. That's all to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
So y'all, one final recommendation. I think that you should probably stop recording.
Okay, I'll do that right now, friends.
Mr. Chairman, would you like us?